Hello, everyone, and welcome to this year's 12th edition of Tool for Agile Team. I will be sharing with you my talk that is entitled In My Client Shoes. Now, as you can see, I've chosen this image from a ballerina shoe overlaying on top of a certain diagram representing maybe a certain market rhythm or trends. And that's actually the purpose, to put ourselves in our client shoes and try to surf and to go in the ups and the downs of the behavior of our markets. So the main idea behind my reason why I chose this topic is to bridge product management in SAFe with market rhythms. But first, before diving in deeper, let me introduce myself. I'm Joseph ASSAF. I'm initially a NAB accredited architect. So I come from the design background, building architecture, not the software one. And I've been working since nearly 3 to 4 years now at Kigon AG here in Germany as an agile coach, trainer, and consultant. And this is where I bridge myself the gap between the customer design-centric background and the agile practice itself. I would always like to start my panels with a quote. And this one here, understanding the market is not just about numbers, it's about syncing with its heartbeat. And I mean it literally, word by word. As the image as well is shown, it's a rhythm, it's like a dance, you know, the valse dance. When you get the ups and the downs, we need to observe it, understand it, and know how to translate these data to our internal teams. 3 key objectives shaped today's session. 1, to understand the relationship between product management and business value streams in SAFe. 2, to explore the importance of being market-driven. And 3, to uncover how market trends influence product decision. 4 key elements in today's agenda. 1, we will briefly understand what's the SAFe framework. 2, we will dive in deeper on the roles of product management. 3, we will discuss what are the market segment tools and what is its voice. And last, it's your call. Let's start with the SAFe framework. Actually, I'm sure the majority of you are already familiar with the Scaled Agile framework, but for those of you who aren't, it's simply a set of guidelines and practices that were designed to help large enterprises to scale lean and agile. And this is its advantage. If you go back to my own opinion, I love it because it's not easy, it is complex. And if your context is not complex and you don't want to scale, don't go SAFe, go somewhere else. But I love it the most because it literally bridges the gap between what is lean, the Toyota production system, Taishi Ono, and what is agile from the Agile Manifesto. And the advantage that the SAFe frameworks brings to us is that it is fragmented in different layers or configuration, if I would like to speak in SAFe language. And this structure helps scaling and delivering value to be implemented on these different levels. And again, as an architect, I come from the design background. I always love to explain my visuals. This continuous circular pipeline shape is on purpose here because SAFe helps us to adopt what we call the CDP pipeline, continuous development pipeline or continuous delivery pipeline. And fact, a circular shape doesn't have a start or an end point. It's not like a rectangle or a triangle. You have sharp corners, 90 degrees. You can allocate a point where this is the start and this is the end. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. In graphic-wise, when you have a circular, it's infinite, it's a loop. And this is what we would like to do, a continuous delivery, continuous learning, continuous exploration of what? Of our markets, so that we can get to adapt and adjust at the right time with the right people on a specific context. Now, diving in deeper on the role of product management. I made a conclusion towards 4 key titles that can shape a role of product management. Now, why in SAFE we say product management and not a product manager? Because it can be filled by multiple people. But nevertheless, of the title, of the wordings, if you're a product manager or you're a group of people in your organizations that play the role of product management, your main role are to navigate, to translate, to mitigate, and to predict. Let's start with the first one. What do I mean by navigation? A good PM knows how to navigate on 2 levels. The first level is to remove impediments, clearing the path for seamless delivery, for continuous delivery, for homogeneous delivery. The second role is surfing. You know, when you get on your surfboard and you start to do the sport between the waves on the beach, it's exactly the same metaphor, to surf between marketing metrics. And I'm sure if anyone from you now listening to me is coming from a marketing background, you are definitely familiar with the Tam Sam Som. So as a PM, you need to familiarize yourself with the Tam Sam Som, the marketing metrics, in order to surf between them and your organization's delivery pipeline. And to explain a little bit more, the TAM is the total available market. If I would like to use safe language, it is called the market research. In SAM, it is the serviceable addressable market. In the safe language, that's the market segmentation. And then zooming in, we have in the end, the SOM, which is the serviceable, obtainable market. And this will be your share in the market. And in SAFE, it is embodied in what we call a persona. And we're going to see that in the next slide, what personas are. But before, let me finalize the roles of product management. In second comes the translation. You need to be great in translating information outside in and in towards outside. What do I mean a good translator? It means that we need to communicate in a common language that everyone understands, from business owner to stakeholders and tech junkies, the people that has value, your agile teams that do the actual work, the developers. Hence, what do I mean by common language that everyone understands? Avoid using professional, scientific keywords. Me, if I'm a client and I request a product or a service, I wouldn't understand in its technicalities. So don't share with me your value, your work that you made with the keywords, with the technical words, and vice versa. Don't share arbitrary desired words that comes from the client to your teams. No, try to maintain a certain standard where we have a communication that everyone understands, no matter the background of the person. And this is crucial, whether for the team to understand what are the client requirements, or to your clients to understand what the team has made out of value to them. The third and last one, I always love to merge them together because you cannot have one without the other, and that's mitigation and prediction. Predicting and mitigating risks, foreseeing challenges and preparing for them. Pay attention, again, I use the word continuously, because it's not on a particular period of time. It's not only before tackling a project that you need to come up with a risk mitigation plan. It's continuously throughout problem research and solution delivery. What do I mean by problem research and solution delivery? That's the third point in our agenda, one of the tools in our market segment voice, and that's the double diamond. I'm sure a lot of design people, entrepreneurs, startups are familiar with these double diamonds. I tend to use this tailored version of it. That's not the standard one where you have the 2 equal-sized diamonds. And you will understand why in one of the last slides. But for the moment, we have what I've talked about, the problem and the solution. So continuously, we need to mitigate risks during problem, the first diamond, and the solution space. Why I like this version more wrapped on horizontal axis, because in solution space, there's more work to be done and adjustment to be taken care of in terms of prototyping, to develop and deliver. And the first diamond is just more or less of an R&D, of an exploration to discover and define. And it's essential for a PM to discover what market needs and define what product response. Another key element to understand, to have the ability to read and to translate to your team are the market rhythms and trends. I love here to quote Scaled Agile, and I took this graph from them actually. We use it in our trainings because it's an easy visual to showcase the importance of market rhythms. For example, let's say we are a toy maker business company. If we follow our graph, our trends in yellow, we notice a peak during Q4. What does that mean? Why do we have a peak here? Definitely, it's because it's Christmas time. It's the holiday seasons. And as toy maker, a good PM for my company needs to know that during this period of time, there's a peak in value. Families, especially children, are our main segment, customer segment. Hence, our optimal release window needs to be directly preceded by this peak, which means end of Q3 or starting Q4. If you cannot assess such market rhythms, just imagine the failure that you can bring to your business. What if we are a toy maker and we avoided to check on this market rhythm and we decided to deliver value during first quarter? Do you imagine in first quarter, it's a complete fail because people already pay a lot of money. It's a burden. How many of you just have the feeling that January is a never-ending month? And you already pay a lot of money during the holidays, during the new year, Christmas. Done. It's a fail for our business if we're a toy maker to release during the first quarter. Hence, it affects profit. And it will lead to loss. So always consider key industry events, seasons, and external factors for your decision-making, especially when you need to deliver value outside in the market. And lastly, it's the customer-centric design tools a PM can use. I highlighted here the 3 basic tools that as well they are presented in the Scaled Agile framework, and it's crucial for every business at least to start with these 3. The first one is the CGM, Customer Journey Map. It's to highlight our clients' woes and ahas moment. So you have a value stream. You have a sequence of event in your line of product or service. By describing your client reactions, you will be able to adapt when your client is on a woe moment. It means he's completely dissatisfied. And when he or she are in an aha moment, they are super satisfied. And this will bring you incentive to know how to measure and grow, where you need to make it better, and where you need to keep up the level that's already has a aha moment in your client shoes. The second tool is the user personas. User personas are fictional character that represents a wider percentage behavior of your customer segment. If we use safe words and what I have showed you in my first slide, it's the SOM, the serviceable, obtainable market. These are behaviors of people that will use our product. And it's essentially to shape that and be creative about it, not just only by a card or by verbally saying that. Make real models of fictional characters. Make it a huge cardboard where everyone would see it, interact with it. Try to do your demos alongside these personas to see what potential behavior you can take out of it. And last but not least, it's the empathy mapping canvas. It's where you will use these personas you created in order to understand and to get familiar with what they see, they feel, they think, and they do with what? With your product or service, depending on what's your business. These 3 customer-centric design tools are essential for the success of every PM. And it's your call. It's your call actually to apply these three pillars that I've shared with you. Market trends, the rhythms, Christmas example, the customer centricity, the three design thinking tools that I shared with you. And lastly, it's the value stream. I didn't cover it yet, and that's on purpose because actually that's your call. That's how I would like to leave this presentation, with a call to action for you to start with. You need to always start by identifying your organization's value streams. Just to put it a little bit in context, SAFe defines two value stream types. The first one is what we call the OVS, operational value streams. It always starts with a trigger and ends with a value. And everything in between is a description of the different phases of our product from ideation to completion. Let us give an example. Let's say we're a bank. So what potentially a trigger can be? For example, Joseph, a member of our society, needs money. So I go to a bank and I request a loan. This is our trigger. So for the bank, the trigger in this situation, it's a loan request from Joseph, a future customer. What would be the value here is when Joseph will pay back the loan plus covering its interests. So now we have the trigger, we have the need. Joseph needs money. He requests a loan. And we have the value. We know the value. It's when Joseph will pay back this loan with its interests. Then everything in the middle is our own line of service or product that we do. What are the phases, the steps that Joseph will pass on through in order to achieve this loan? And this operational value stream is always backed up and supported by what we call a DVS, development value stream. Why? Because in order to make this operational value stream viable, there are systems in the back end of it that will make sure to support it. And these systems are where our agile teams working continuously to define, build, validate, and release a value or an increment of it. And that's the development value stream. It always starts with tasks to be done. In SAFe, we call these tasks features. And it ends by an increment of value where on top of each other, they will create the end value. And that's the distinction between those two value streams, the operational one and the development one. And most essentially, it's the backbone of our art, what we call the Agile Release Train, which is a team of agile teams. It works thoroughly in continuous delivery pipeline, always backed up by our development value stream for three main key purposes: continuous exploration, integration, and deployment. And that's what I call a sustainable CDP. It's sustainable. It doesn't have a start and an end point. It's just, again, like the waltz dance that I started with it. You just go with the rhythm, go with the flow. Continuously, you dance. When it's up, you continue dancing even if it's down. The market trends are down, are low, constraints are high. You are smooth. You need to continuously evolve, learn, and adapt. And now, if I link it back to my double diamond, you understand why I like this tailored version of longitudinal second diamond, because it maps directly well with this concept of CDP, continuous delivery pipeline, where the first diamond reflects on continuous exploration, and the second one, it evolves with integration and deployment. And now if we move this diamond up, what we can see is the zoom in on the continuous exploration of our continuous delivery pipeline. And here now you can see what I have described previously in terms of the problem space reflect upon our decision-making to do the roadmap, the synthesize, the hypothesis, and most essentially the second visual that you see, product management, entitled Collaborate and research. And all of these are backed up by the design thinking tools that I shared with you, whether the CGM, customer journey map, the user personas, the fictional character that we create, or the empathy canvas mapping. And these are crucial for us PMs to work upon. Does it mean that we have no role in the solution space? Definitely not. But our biggest impact is during the problem space for continuous exploration. The roadmap is not just about reaching the destination, but ensuring a smooth journey, an homogeneous journey, a continuous journey. Why? Why is it important to be market-driven? If your role is a product management, or if you have an enterprise and you have product management, why should you advise them to be market-driven? Well, let me share with you some numbers just for credibility and reliability. First answer to your why is for increased revenue. Who wouldn't like that? And a report by the Design Management Institute found that design-led companies have outperformed the S&P index, pay attention, by 228% over 10 years. That's a good number. So the first answer to our why you should be market-driven, is increased revenue. The second one, for improved customer satisfaction. Believe it or not, every $1 invested in user experience, does it ring a bell? Yes, the personas, market research, continuous exploration, the first quadrant of the CDP pipeline. So every $1 invested there, it yields a return of $100, and that means 9,900% of return over investment. 9,900%. And lastly, why you need to be market-driven? To have a faster time to market. Who would like to avoid that? No one. We want to be fast. We want to adapt, adjust as much as the client or the market requests. IBM has cited that design thinking practices help them reduce their time to market by 33%. So, increased revenue, improved customer satisfaction, and faster time to market are the reason behind why a PM, upon different roles, needs to be market-driven, to navigate in the market, to translate the right information in the common language, and to mitigate and predict the risks and the future. And as I started with the quote, I would like to quote here now in the end Albert Einstein, theoretical physicist, which I'm sure 99% knows him. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. It's the beautiful chaos here because, yeah, it's logic. Actually, once you know a problem, if I came to you and I already shared a certain request or something that is bothering me, it's easy. You have one of the two options. Either you have the know-how, you can solve it, or if you don't have it, you pay for someone else, an SME, subject matter expert, and they will support you with the solution. You're not smart if you can do solutions. You're smart when you can find problems, and not only find problem, find the problem, not a problem. Because the problem is tailored to your context, to your tam, sam, som. Remember, you are serving a certain portion of a certain market research. You have a segmentation in it. And to be able to reach the intersection of the two diamonds in our double diamond, that's the challenge. Hence, spend time for continuous exploration that was already shared in here to elaborate, to understand more your customer, your market, what is happening there. Because for sure then, the solution will be easier to reach. As much as this is really good, testing, staging, and production, but this is awesome. Market research is on top of it all amazing. And again, when it is and I use the word for maybe the fifth time now, continuously taken into consideration and not at the start of a project. So this is awesome as long as we continuously, as PM, evolve our market research techniques and implement strategies from the outside to our teams that are inside. So here it's more or less like this Agile manifesto. You're familiar with it, but I changed the importance of the side. So the right side here, it's amazing. Testing, solution, delivery, it's great, but you need to know what's the right thing to be done and not just simply do the things right. Do the right thing and not things right. And there's a huge difference in that. So let's walk a mile in our clients' shoes and pave the path for a future that's truly in sync with their needs. In the end, as a business, if we are not fulfilling our market needs, not their wants, their needs, not what they desire, what they have as a necessity, then we will be sustainable. Then we can upgrade, update, have additional features, cover desires. But at first, you need to cover their needs. If you won't be able to do that, it will be hard in this fast, accelerated world to commit and to outperform our competitors. It's your call. And I thank you for that. Thank you for listening to my slot, which was entitled In My Client Shoes. And I'm eager to connect with like-minded people. If you are interested to dive in deeper and to speak more about it, you can connect with me on LinkedIn under this name, Joseph ASSAF, SPC, and I will be more than happy to push this discussion further on. Thank you so much.